We are finally finishing this. MCU ranked up to the end of phase 3. I don't even know what else to say besides we are just so damn excited to finally do this.
Called footballs.
We started stream with that, by the way. What's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of 20,000 Films Under the Sea. I am your director tonight, Ernell Pearson, alongside who should we go first? Let's see.
Don't pick me.
The almost gaming god, Devin Brevin, the dude.
Oh, thank God.
What?
Was it me?
Almost gaming god?
Yeah, dude.
He's like a gaming demigod.
Devin's got a weird natural knack for like being good at games, like randomly. You know what I mean? I wasn't really a believer until we picked up Knockout City, and for whatever reason, he was just really fucking good at Knockout City for like 2 months. Man, dude, it was crazy.
I missed that.
I
game.
don't approve of the inflating of Devin's ego.
I don't either. I don't either. But this is one thing I'm
just saying I missed that game. I missed that game. I do. I'm upset.
We all do, brother. We all do.
You were so mad that final stream, though.
I know, dude. You were really mad.
Pissed.
You were so toxic.
You were
that
like,
last
fuck this
time we
fucking
played.
game. Keep this fucking shit. You guys fucked up.
You were so toxic that last stream, dude. It was so funny. Because me and Garrick were like, dude, it's fine.
So bad.
Oh man, you're almost a gamer god, Devin. You're almost a gamer god. We also have a other demi gamer god. It is DJ Simfin.
I'm an actual gamer god, actually.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay.
You're looking at the guy who went into a Texas Showdown.
We also have a game. What? Go ahead.
I mean, I was in the top 0.01% at Splitgate.
A game nobody plays. We also have the gaming demon. It is the Hellfire and Brimstone. Garrick Bartholomew Ita.
He's really gaming tonight, really, on the movie show.
Yeah, oddly enough. I
Yeah.
have been doing a lot of gaming, though. I've been playing a lot of games.
Yeah. Garrick, your hair looks great tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, we got the natural swoop, so I will be please don't ask me to do anything other than hot boy shit this evening.
Should I like maybe should I get my hot boy shit on too? Here,
damn, that you like that immediately after the hair came off, like
Ooh,
a
the
little
streak.
effort.
Oh,
But yeah, no, hot boy shit only for me this evening and for Ernell this evening.
We're all on hot boy shit. Yeah,
please and thank you.
Let the mullet fly.
Yeah, we're all on hot boy shit. There we go. That's not like. Well, can I get my boy band look on? There we go.
There you go.
Middle part.
I'm gonna put
Middle
that
part.
on though.
Middle part.
The hat works with the mullet.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I'm saying?
There you go. DJ, do I look like a K-pop boy? Fat?
Almost, actually.
a little bit actually. Yeah, when you parted it like that, like
saying,
you went
Can you
from
do me a
being
favor
like,
and do this and say konnichiwa?
don't
Dasha.
Sorry to
Oh,
our
my God.
East Asian viewers. That was,
That's right. And then lastly, we have the actual gamer god. It is the queen of bitchin' herself, Jenesy Gabrielle.
yeah. You're all super lucky that I don't play video games because I would just fucking demolish you.
you're
No way.
handicapped. Yeah, you're right.
see.
You're saving us.
Yeah.
It's like a hydrogen
Yeah.
bomb versus coughing baby moment. you know?
Exactly.
If Jenesy
Exactly.
Yeah, we
put up
wouldn't
the
stand a
sticks, it would
chance
just be-
against you and Nancy Drew.
Here.
The fucking truth,
true.
though. I've
True.
been trying. I apologize to our viewers on their behalf because I've been trying to get these fuckers to let me play Nancy Drew Mystery on stream for years.
Now
And
get hey.
We listen. We started small. We started small with Stardew Valley. Okay, and that was a
We
good
did.
place for us to kind of kick things off there. We'll get to Nancy Drew. Okay, we'll get to Nancy Drew. But we do need another game for Jenesy to play before we get to Nancy Drew, right?
Witchbrook.
why? Why can't we start with the hard
No.
stuff?
Like I'm
Straight
thinking
into
Dark Souls. Let's just
Yeah, we're gonna have
massacre.
you play Elden Ring. We're gonna have you play
let's just ruin Genesaw's night.
These all sound terrible. What if we played Animal Crossings?
Well,
be
what
cool with
about
that.
Hello
I'd be
Kitty
cool with that.
Island Adventure? I think that would be really cool.
Hello Kitty Island
Good
Adventure
game.
would be good.
What's that? That sounds
It's
amazing.
It's on your phone. You
It's-
can get
it's
it on your
great.
phone.
Kitty
Yeah.
Island Adventure 2 is out now, actually.
It's
Yeah,
like
the sequel.
Yeah. You can play it. You can. It's a mobile game. You can play it on your phone. Get it on your phone.
Swear to God.
Good game.
That's
We-
amazing.
Under Oath.
It was.
That's right. Yeah, we're all under
It-
oath tonight. And you guys at home are under oath too. Because this is 20,000 Films Under the Sea. Your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want each and every week. If you like that, you can head on over to our, I know, ominous, right?
I like that
You can
pause.
head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services near you. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is not actually cool at all because we're no longer live streaming after this episode. But you can support us over at patreon.com/goodkrakenpods, where you guys can really, truly support us. There will be... Never mind. I'm not gonna. You guys are gonna get fucking sick of me. I can't kick things off now.
You're
If you have,
acting like we're already not sick of you.
that's fair. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, DJ,
Prime Gaming.
and we would love
last time.
for you to give that to us to help keep the lights on, cameras rolling one last time. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting subscribe and that beautiful bell and big red button, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel by picking up your phone, going to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and typing in 20,000 Films under Ernell. Under the Sea. And we'll be right there waiting for you. Jenesy.
Yes.
Yes. We have some director's commentary. Guys, please check out our newest episodes of the week. We've done a lot of content this week because of GK Fest 2025, our 4-year anniversary celebration. We have a whole week's worth of wonderful content for you, starting out with the Shipwreck Show, where we talked a little bit, quite a bit actually, about our plans for the remainder of the year. I'm going to be going forward with things, no longer live streaming, how we're going to be doing content rollout, how YouTube is going to be our main platform from now on. So you guys can be able to catch that over there on YouTube, as well as the other videos and episodes that we put out here, including the official GK 2025 announcements video, which you guys can find there for all the information that you need for how we're going about things going forward. That will be there for you separately if you don't have time to burn through an hour and a half, but you have time. You know what I'm saying?
Halftime? Yeah.
And then we have another episode of Good Kraken Death Ratio. That is Devin, that is Garrick, talking about what they want from the Switch 2. Kind of turned it out to be a wild prediction episode. Yes, Devin.
They canceled pre-orders.
They did, and I'm sure you guys will be talking about that on Tuesday. And
I'm
then
gonna hate it.
last night we got a chance to record some gameplay of us playing the game Repo for the first time. And oh boy, do you not want to miss that. Because that is some
Pretty good.
wild fucking content that we recorded
Hey, sir, you
last
can't
night.
park there.
You can't park there. You can't park there. DJ was on some shit
Hey, over
last night.
here.
He was
Yeah,
he
he
was,
did.
he
Got
was on
killed.
some fucking shit last
Bro,
night. Jesus Christ, dude.
I thought he was deaf. I thought he was blind, and I was trying to speak so he could hear me. And then, and I was like, "Fuck it!" I'm tapping his shoulder. I tap his shoulder, and then he fucking turns around and spikes Devin. And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, dude. I got a couple of times trying to fucking get Xander straightened out, dude. It was fucking bullshit. Anyways, we also recorded Songs from the Abyss Session 9 the other night. That episode will be going live to the public starting on Monday. But all of you early access folks and supporters on Patreon will be getting that episode early tomorrow, Saturday, April 5th, in the early evening, late afternoon. So you guys will be having that there for you guys. Yeah. In the meantime,
Oh yeah.
we have a very big conversation to have tonight because we are finally finishing phase 3 of the MCU rankings. God damn does it fucking feel good. Okay, it feels good
Yep.
to finally be here. Unfortunately, we are short Xander, but Xander was like, one of us were gone last time anyways, so maybe I'll just sacrifice myself. And so Xander actually
He's
went.
like,
Yeah,
I gotta celebrate my daughter's birthday.
yeah. Well, actually, he was saying that, but when we got off stream, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hunting in the woods for like 4 days. Don't call me, right?" And like he went to the. He's actually hunting bears. It's crazy, dude. He's gonna come back with a whole like bear fit. It's gonna be sick. Be sick. Anyways, we have our MCU Phase 3 rankings, and to kind of run people down here from where we were last time, I've got a little bit of a thing on the screen for you video watchers, but even more so for you audio listeners, a quick rundown of where we are. At number 17, we have The Incredible Hulk. Number 16 is Iron Man 3. Number 15 is Thor. Number 14 is Iron Man 2. Number 13 is Thor Dark World. That is fitting. Number 12 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 11 is Doctor Strange. Number 10 is Iron Man. Number 9 is Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 8 is Ant-Man. Number 7 is Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 6 is Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 4 is The Avengers. Number 3 is Thor Ragnarok. Number 2, Captain America, Civil War. And number 1 so far, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. How do we feel about that, y'all? How are we feeling about that so far?
Yeah.
How the fuck
Feeling,
did Guardians make top 5? How?
You know,
I
that's a good
literally
question,
don't know.
Garrick.
Don't worry, it shouldn't last long. It shouldn't last long.
That's okay, Garrick. That's okay. We can talk about that in the future. You know what I'm saying? As we kind of come into a close, because we're starting to catch up now. Right? Because now we just got to do some Phase 4 shit, and then we're all fucking set. You know what I'm saying? We're all fucking set, baby. We're almost there. Almost there, y'all. Anyways, our first movie that we need to get into for Marvel Phase 3 tonight is Black Panther. Wakanda Forever. You know what I'm saying? As per usual,
but
We'll just have a
Black
random
Panther,
pile of
not
stuff
Black
up there.
Panther, Wakanda Forever, because that's
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different movie.
next
Very
phase,
different
next phase.
film.
Yes, very different movie. Very different. But Black Panther 1, the first Black Panther. And let's go ahead and start off with Devin. What are your thoughts on Black Panther, sir?
It's a good movie. Just straight up good movie. It's a fun movie too. It's a very important movie as well. It is the first Marvel movie that is has a African American as the lead actor. So it's got a very huge cultural significance right there in itself. But I think there are some parts of the movie with Killmonger that I'm a little iffy on. Just a
Okay.
little bit. Just a
Okay,
little bit.
that's fair.
Just a little bit. So great movie. Had a lot of fun with it. The story direction's really good. I feel like the length of the movie is really good, and it tells a very wide story. I mean, it is Marvel's Lion King. It really is. Dude, it is. It is. Dude, it is. Come on. Like, it's got
I
some
don't
one-to-one
understand.
scenes.
Because they're both African?
No.
No, he says no.
But,
No.
like-
I don't think
No,
I don't
like-
think Black Panther has many parallels to Macbeth.
Mm,
Well, I do. Okay,
Great point.
character aside, I see what he's getting at. I see what he's getting at in terms of like
I'm not sure.
the
I
father
do.
dying, the sun rising above and taking the throne.
Mhm.
Right. You know, so I get where he's coming from.
Dude,
I
the
do.
whole spirit, like the spirit world part where he talks to his
Simba.
father, he sees everything of the, he sees
They didn't break
everything
out
in
in
the
the song and
sky.
dance though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Missed opportunity.
So
I
what?
mean,
I'm
they
not-
kinda
like,
did.
look,
They
it's
kinda
not-
did.
it's not- Yeah, actually they do.
don't think
They
so.
do break out in song and dance.
Stomping.
Mbaku does. Mbaku does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking love him.
Oh, dude, I love Mbaku. Okay,
God,
Mbaku
he's so
is
good.
like,
He's so good. He's so
he's like
hot,
one of the
dude.
best characters.
He's so fucking.
He's like one of the
hot.
best
So
characters.
hot.
Dude, were you guys all taken back
A
when
really
you
cool
found
card
out
in Marvel
that his
Snap.
whole his whole tribe is vegetarian? Did that Did that surprise you?
Yeah. No, it's not. There's a
Yeah.
lot of African tribes that are vegetarian, vegan, even technically. Yeah.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, no, it's a good movie. It progresses well. It's good length, very good special effects, and I think it's one of the last like true like experiences Marvel has provided for us.
Okay. I like it, my good sir. Jenesy, let's go to you. Dearest, what are your thoughts on Black Panther all this time later?
Lion King, right?
I love this movie. No, not whatever that was.
I'm with you,
this
Devin.
movie.
I'm with you, Devin.
I watched Lion King a lot when I was a kid. I tell you.
Okay, so moving past that, I love Black Panther. I felt like this movie felt like a turning point to me, especially watching it back. I mean, Guardians does do this, but like Black Panther really mastered the balance between like bringing music into not just a score, but like modern music into a film. I mean, I feel like this film really married the classic MCU, like rooting for the hero, defeating the bad guy, with like modern filmmaking of like having a kick-ass soundtrack and a funny fucking script and a killer cast. Like it brought it all. I love it. Every time I watch it, I'm like bopping along with the soundtrack. I am laughing my ass off. When every single time she says colonizer, like I watch that back sometimes just to like feel something, because that line is so good.
It's so good.
It's just so good. And I also felt like that was the first time like I saw in like a major like I don't know blockbuster movie where like you could just tell that the script was written by a Black person for Black people, but we could all laugh along and have fun. Like I felt like those movies don't usually, I mean, they have more in the last like 10 years, but prior to Black Panther, it was a lot more rare for us to have movies where like Black people just get to have fun and get to be the hero and like get to have these awesome storylines. And I love it. I think it aged super well. It's still a fucking banger movie. I think it holds up to movies that have been coming out since then.
Yeah, agreed.
I love it so much. Yeah.
Sweet. Garrick.
Man, I fucking love Black Panther. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite Marvel movies. For a lot of reasons, actually. First and foremost, I just always genuinely loved Chadwick Boseman as an actor. I thought he was fantastic. I fell in love with him when I went and saw 42 for the first time. That was kind of like the movie that I was just like, he's the fucking man. And I liked what he did as far as like being a culturally significant actor and being able to be Black Panther was just like, I felt like that was an incredibly, I feel like he deserved that role. I feel like he really, really, really deserved that role. And it made for a really powerful movie because I felt like it was perfectly cast in the same way that RDJ is Iron Man. Like he is T'Challa to me, and it made for a film that I cared a lot about immediately, and him being so strongly established in Civil War from the get-go, and me being like made to like immediately invest and care about his character made like this solo film really powerful because it kind of gave an alternative spin on the origin story, because technically speaking he was kind of already playing that role as Black Panther when Black Panther begins, but this was him settling and like solidifying that role for himself and what it meant for him as a hero, as like the ruler of a country, as as a king and a member of his family. And I don't know, I really everything about in this story just like really wraps it up for me in like a nice little bow. I agree with Devin that it was it has like the perfect runtime. It's got amazing visuals. This is truly one of my favorite Marvel films, and Black Panther has always been one of my favorite Marvel heroes. I actually got the opportunity to read like a hard book cover of like the original Marvel Jungle comics, and like that's where I got introduced to Black Panther, and I fell in love with him then. I thank my father-in-law for that. And I've been in love with Black Panther ever since, and seeing him on the big screen was massive. And like I felt pretty emotional about it as a white guy. And so like I can imagine like what that meant for like people of color and like the cultural significance of this film. And like again, like I'm getting a little emotional about it now. I really really love this film. I kind of get a little teary eyed every time I watch Black Panther just because it was a huge moment in cinema for everybody. And I think it was the most it was the most culturally diverse film I've ever seen without forcefully feeling like it excluded any one group of people. Even though it was obviously a predominantly powerfully black film, I felt like it was a film made for everybody. It was. I felt like it is the perfect example of a progressive, culturally driven, DEI focused film. Like I think it is like it sets the standard for that, and I think it has since its release.
Agreed, brother. Goddamn, agreed. Very eloquently put, by the way. DJ, let's go to you, my mind. I know, kind of just coming off right off the gates here. This is, from what I understand, your favorite Marvel movie. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes,
All
this
right,
is my
sir.
favorite Marvel movie.
Let's talk
I
about it.
think this is peak MCU. It's just everything you would want in not only like a superhero movie, but just a movie in general. It's got great action, great dialogue, great acting, incredible cinematography. There's a lot of memorable scenes in this film, and I still remember to this day. I literally remember what I was doing that day I first watched that movie. You know what I mean? Like I remember like going asking um my she was my girl, like she was going to be my girlfriend the year later, but like, I was asking her out to go see the movie, and we watched Black Panther. We were both for like that shit was amazing. I immediately, even as I walked out, I remember looking at my Spotify, finding the movie soundtrack, and then adding all the songs that I enjoyed into my phone. Like that, I don't think you could it gets better than this movie. Like, we had some great movies in this phase, and some great like hype movements, but I think overall, like just looking back at this, I think this movie comes out a lot stronger, and I think it has a lot more staying power. Um, yeah, no, this movie's great.
Yeah, dude. I agree, man. This movie is crazy because it's like the second sort of cultural phenomenon, social zeitgeist Marvel movie that had been put out at the time, right? Because Civil War kind of was the very first one because everyone was talking about like Tony or Cap, right? Tony or Cap, and everyone was taking their sides and talking about it. But the way that Black Panther just lit this fire underneath Marvel fans was insane, especially coming from BIPOC folks, especially coming into the Black community, right? And the way that God, dude, like I think about it sometimes too, and I also kind of get very emotional when I think about it because I always go to that concept of like there is a boy somewhere that saw Black Panther and was like, that's me, right? That's my hero. And we had the same conversation regarding Shang-Chi and how important that was because there are no like other real Asian heroes besides Wong, right? And so like, and then even he is like so much of a side character that like, it was crazy to see that too.
Like side character plus.
Yeah, he's side character VIP, right? And so like he's not exactly side character, but he is, And so yes, Devin.
Wong's like one of my favorite like
he's so good.
side characters.
Yeah,
though.
he's
He's amazing.
fucking phenomenal. This movie, I think, deserves its flowers because it did so much for Marvel. Generally speaking, it did so much for us as fans of Marvel. It also genuinely is just a fucking good movie. I rewatched all of these the past couple of weeks to like refresh my brain on it and just make sure that I wasn't going into some stuff with like a weird cognitive bias. And the only negative note at all that I have about this movie now, comparatively to when it first came out, is Michael B. Jordan has a few lines that are a little bit cheesy, and that's it. Everything
That's all I was
else,
getting at.
yeah, like Killmonger's got some cheesy fucking lines, but he also has some really fucking good lines, and
he has some good lines.
he has some very fucking good lines. Like, is this your king? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like that moment was
Or
fucking.
just his entire speech in the museum.
Oh, dude, I'm
Oh,
telling you, man.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
like it's like I killed my own brothers and sisters right here on this continent.
I'm
like
I'm
that's
telling you,
Yes.
that
This
shit
is hard
hard
as
as fuck, man.
Age
I think he
that
redeems
up,
his
bro.
cheesy lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like, and even that, even those grievances like don't even really count for a lot to me because it's like the rest of the movie is just genuinely so good. Chadwick Boseman steals the screen every single goddamn scene in this movie. He is
Delete that
emotional.
footage. Like
Yeah, dude, I actually just watched that scene. DJ, I just watched that scene.
delete that
also
footage.
the-
Like
Dore Milaje.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know,
yeah,
right?
fucking Melage,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
fucking
dude,
dope.
They're
fucking dope, man.
They are so good.
Garrick, your hands up.
Do you know how crazy it is to watch Black Panther in hindsight, knowing like the level of fucking aura farming that Chadwick Boseman was
Just-
with actual
just-
cancer,
Oh,
with
dude,
actual
fucking
cancer,
for real, right?
and he was fucking locked in every single
And he was in shape,
fucking
dude.
brother, every
scene,
time,
dude, and he looked like a Marvel superhero still. He was pulling off that Marvel, like that's incredible, man. Like I've that indomitable human spirit in fucking action with that man.
Dude, he's
as you can
just
see, I am not dead. You know, it's like
he's just so
Great.
charismatic and every performance in the movie is just powerful. It's so powerful and it really goes to show like what Jenesy was saying, how like this is such a just crazy power play of a fucking movie for Marvel fans, for Black Marvel fans, for the culture. Like this movie was more than just a movie for a very long time. Even to this day, people casually talk about Wakanda as if it's a real fucking place. Still, to this day, dude, it's crazy. Like, we've just canonized Wakanda being this fucking, like, real thing in Africa, dude. This movie's crazy, man.
How would we know if it's not real? You know what I'm saying? Like we would never know.
Yeah.
We would never know if it's not real.
We're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to know, right?
Sometimes I think about the fact that Wakanda like isn't a place that I can go and I get sad. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't know.
But like,
but you don't know.
Let's
You know what I
be
mean?
completely real. None of us would make it in. I would be completely
Yeah.
No,
honest. None of us would
literally,
make it in.
they
none of us,
wouldn't. They
unfortunately.
shouldn't.
Would not live.
And that's
None of us,
okay.
unfortunately.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. We love that. That's why we love it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's talk about it here.
Mhm.
To kind of start with like a sweet spot, because I know we have just insane feelings about this movie, right? And so
I think we should start it higher than we have.
that's what I'm thinking, right? So
Yeah.
I think let's start with this. Is this movie better than Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this movie better than the Avengers?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm with it.
For
I'm
sure.
with it. I'm
For
with
sure.
it. Is this movie better than Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think so.
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
All right.
It's
As much as I adore Ragnarok for being like a very funny and complete film, like a full picture, I feel like Black Panther edges out.
I
Okay.
feel like those movies are on the same level for me. If I'm going to be honest, I feel like that's where I cap. I think
Sure.
for
Sure.
me personally,
That's
both those
respectable.
movies are like
Yeah.
sitting on the same
Yeah.
field.
So we have one who's now knocked out. Is this movie better than Captain America: Civil War?
I'd say
I
no.
think so.
I
I'm gonna
think
say
so.
I think
I'd say it. I'd say so.
'Cause
I'd say so.
here's my
as
thing,
much as
right?
I
And
enjoy Civil War.
Let me make
Yeah.
this argument. Okay, let me make this
Okay.
argument. It's not that
Go.
I think that Black Panther is by any means worse than Civil War. I think that Civil War is just this much more exciting of a movie as a whole.
See,
Agree.
and
I
what
feel like
would
it does more
say
for Marvel.
Yeah,
I-
this is the area where I'm torn because I feel like I could kind of respect either side.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't
Jenesy, you're gonna
I-
chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that like Civil War is a great movie, but I also feel like that movie had a bit too much going on for me. Like
Okay.
it,
Okay.
especially for being a Captain America movie, it's always gonna have a hard point for me because it felt more like an Avengers movie than a Captain America movie. It had so much going on and not necessarily always in a good way for me. Whereas Black Panther perfectly did what it set out to do. I think
Okay,
it had
okay.
far more cultural significance within the MCU and outside of the MCU than Civil War. And I think that it ultimately is a better done movie. I just like I can't stress enough the craftsmanship from top to bottom. Like this movie has such continuity from script to music to acting, like every single piece of it. Not saying that Civil War isn't a good movie. It's a good movie, but I do think that Black Panther was much more intentional.
Black Panther stands alone better, right? Is kind of like what you're kind of okay. I
Yep.
see it. I see it. DJ, go ahead.
Yeah, and to just jump off of what Genesy's argument, like I think it stands alone better, and also it's like I think we remember Civil War more fondly because it got us talking and discussing when, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, whose side is it, you know what I'm saying? But I think Black Panther was just like all across the board home run. Everyone's like, yes, we love this.
Sure.
This
sure,
is great.
sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing the Wakanda forever. Everybody.
I think
Everybody, you know what I'm
I
saying?
think that most of my willingness to say that Civil War is just slightly better is how much that movie compelled us to debate around the topic of what was going on in that movie, right? And so it became this sort of like bigger conversation than just, oh, did we like that movie? It sort of transcended in the same way that Black Panther did. It sort of transcended this outside influence to what we had in regards to Tony Stark versus Cap. You know, the Sokovia Accords and not supporting it, right? And so to me, it just felt like, even though Black Panther was culturally significant, Civil War felt like it was something that was more universal in its discussion and forcing us to sort of stop and think about the way that we engage with that movie. That's just my argument. But Devin, your hand was up, so I need to hear from you on what your final decision is on this, because we have to kind of come to a ranking here.
I think Civil War is a higher rated movie just because of what it did. You got Zemo pitting Iron Man and Captain America against each other. That whole division, the whole mystery sequence as well, like the investigative side of them, you know, investigating the super soldiers. I actually like
Sure.
that, and though that didn't have the full payoff that I wanted to, it still had a really good arc with it, you know, pitting Iron Man and Captain America against each other with over Bucky. I thought there was a lot of emotional weight behind it because these are characters that for years up until Civil War that, you know, we thought of them as, you know, a family, a team, right? And there was a big division there. And I also thought the introduction of Spider-Man in this movie was top tier, and like seeing his quippiness and interaction with all the other characters within the MCU right off the bat was a big thing for me too.
Sure.
I just think Civil War is a better movie not by a long shot, but just by a little bit. I enjoy that movie more personally. I love Black Panther. I think it sits perfectly right underneath Civil War. And let's be honest, there's no way it's better than The Winter Soldier. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that movie's really good. So this sounds like Garrick is unfortunately going to have to be our deciding factor here, our tiebreaker. And I know Garrick hates being that guy for us, but Garrick, I have to toss the ball your way. Are we putting Black Panther below or above Civil War? Yeah, he's hating this shit right now.
This is the worst.
Can I throw one more thing out there real quick?
That Garrick,
If he does it, I get one more. I get one. If he does
Yeah.
it, I get one more.
Yeah,
I'm okay
DJ.
with that.
Closing arguments, gentlemen.
no, we've already made our closing arguments. I think that Garrick just needs to fucking cowboy up and fucking go. Let's go, dog. What's your thoughts?
Sokovia Accords. That's all I was gonna say.
No, see, he just threw it out. He just threw it out anyway.
Give us your one-liner.
No
DJ.
decorum. No decorum, man.
Okay.
I'm not gonna even say it.
I
Movie
think
speaks for itself.
Black Panther is better than Civil War.
Okay.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Listen, if there's any movie I feel like I could do that with, it would be Black Panther. To be in all fairness,
I think it is ridiculously close, but there's just something about Black Panther that makes it just stand out above so many other Marvel films.
That was like my third ever Marvel film I ever watched. Like I didn't watch it in the series. Like I felt like Black Panther. You can just watch
that's right.
that, like, as a normal
That's
movie.
right. I remember
Get a
you
credit
saying
at the
that.
end of
was
that
what I was
shit
gonna
in
say.
theaters. I legit cried at the end of Black Panther in theaters. Like I was,
movie, man.
it was so good.
It's a 10 out of 10 movie.
So that puts us with top 5: The Avengers, Thor Ragnarok, Civil War, Black Panther, and The Winter Soldier. Now we move into our next movie to talk about here. And it's a big one. Avengers Infinity War. Now we're getting to the hard
Infinite
shit,
War.
y'all. And this time I want to kind of go in the opposite direction here. DJ, why don't you start us off, my good sir? What are your thoughts on Infinity War?
Man, this is kind of yeah, man. This movie.
Oh. Okay,
That was
cool.
weird.
He's there. He's good. We're good.
This movie's kind of been like it was the talk of the town, dude. Man, when this movie popped off, we couldn't wait to see this in theaters, dude. We could not wait at all to see this movie. Man, it was just so much happened in this movie. This movie's long as fuck too.
Yeah.
And man, just there's a lot going on. I mean, just the way everything was set up. I mean, you really have to watch all the previous movies to really understand what's going on in this one. Like this and then, what follows this, you really have to watch every other movie in the timeline to understand how the fuck did we get here? Because they've been alluding to this looming threat in Thanos for a long time. And now he's finally here. And now we get to see fucking Josh Brolin grace the screen technically with his voice. And it is incredible. You're like, holy fuck. Like I think this is like the first time, like when you're as a viewer watching a Marvel movie, you're like, oh shit, this could be over. Like
You felt the stakes, right?
this
For the
could be
very
it.
first time.
Yeah,
dude.
like it was grandiose. It felt you could really feel the stakes, even if you like we're just viewers are not really in it. It made you feel like you were a part of it. You're like, oh fuck, like this shit is real.
Mm-hmm.
Shit just got real, 0 to 100 real fucking quick. Call anybody. We need everybody. We need every fucking body right now. Like this is it. Dude, we still use an Avengers level threat. Like this is that's what we Thanos is what we need the Avengers for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. But I think looking back on it, like at the time, it felt like, oh shit, like this movie's pretty big, pretty grandiose. But I think looking back on it now, I think it's all right. Like it's like still a good movie, but like I would only watch this to get to Endgame. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I feel like those movies are one. Like I wouldn't watch this alone without watching the next one. Right?
Okay. Fair enough, dog. Any other thoughts? Or are you good there?
Actually, just kidding. Yeah, no.
Garrick, your thoughts on Avengers: Infinity War?
This movie was kind of was really complicated, right? It was kind of an undertaking that we had never experienced before on a cinematic level. Like it was quite literally like, we've never tried this. Let's see if we can pull it off. Like it is there's so many fucking people in this fucking movie.
yeah, that's for
This
sure.
would be like quadruple A, dude, and not Skull and Bones. You know what I'm saying?
It is, right? Goddamn. It is almost an overwhelming undertaking of a film. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. I feel like as much as I love this movie, I love Infinity War because it was fantastic, and I agree with everything that DJ said about like it being like we all felt like we were part of like that Avengers, like that global Avengers moment where we all got to sit in theaters on the night that it came out, and everybody's theaters had massive reactions, and we all went home and talked about it and thought about it and went back to the theaters and talked about it and thought about it and went back to the theaters and talked about it and thought about it, right?
Yep.
And so like that left an impression, and because there was so much in this film to enjoy and so much to talk about and so much to discuss, because it was the culmination of fucking 20 other films of or almost nearly 20 films up to this point, and over a decade worth of work. And there was we were seeing some payout, and like all of these threads that Marvel had been pulling on for so long were starting to like form into this bigger blanket of a picture. And the picture wasn't quite a 1-to-1 as to what some of us thought we were going to be. It turned out to be a little bit messy, and like while we're obviously going to be talking about Endgame, and I've got strong thoughts about that one too, I felt like this film didn't find its footing as strongly as it could have in some of its moments. It has a lot going on for it, and I think this film sometimes is too much of a good thing. If that makes sense. Like its massive cast makes for an undeniably difficult time balancing the egos in the room. Whether that's the proverbial egos of their characters or the actual egos of the actors behind them. And that made for some interestingly uneven acting across the film.
Okay.
Because not everybody gave their performances, like, I felt like the best they could in that movie, given how big it was. There's obviously some great standouts, like Josh Brolin as Thanos is like incredible, like him being very like reserved and like an emotionally like unavailable villain, essentially.
Sure.
Because
One of
he
the
thinks
best villains.
you're right, because he genuinely believes he's in the right. And so it made for a very powerful villain and a very good telling. But once we get beyond that Avengers scope of characters, sometimes it doesn't always play out. And like some characters got a ridiculous amount of screen time, and other characters that you felt could have been a bigger part of that story were either ignored or pushed to the wayside or saved for like highlight moments that didn't necessarily satisfy in the same way that they did in Endgame. All in all, I think this was a film that was fantastic in the global response that it gave to comic book fans, but a very messy rewatch of a film, like when you're not viewing it through the theater hype. Like as an at-home experience, like watching it, and being able to pause it and scrutinize the film and not be like jumping out of your seat every time like an incredible one-liner happens, or a new character comes on screen that we haven't seen in the film that we've been waiting to come up and like have this big moment. Like when you're not like actively engaged in the hype of those one-off scenes, the film's continuity and the plot is a little bit messy trying to get where it's going. And it made for a film that is great, but could have been better.
Sure. Okay. Jenesy.
I think every single time I think about this movie, I like, and my memory is not the best, but I vividly remember being in the movie theater for the first time. And like, I saw it my senior year of college is when it came out. And I saw it opening night in a small college town. And that's the fucking way to watch this movie. Like, there was never going to be a better time and place for me to watch that movie because it was packed and you could just tell like everybody was feeling the same things at the same time. And that's such an incredible experience. So every time I think about this movie, I think about that. Even rewatching it, like for me rewatching it, I was like on my couch watching it, but like part of my brain was back at the Minor Theater in Arcata, California, surrounded by fucking people, like shouting when King T'Challa enters the city. Like it was just literally like people got out of their seats and bowed. Like that's what the theater was like. And that's what I think of every single time I watch this movie, because like I think this movie really was an incredible culmination of everything that they had done up until that point. Like I think they did a really great job of like bringing in so many different storylines, and like they brought in like already kind of different universes, right? Like you're dealing with like different planets and countries and cultures and like of these characters that you're bringing together and different things. Like each of these movies have different vibes to them, and like you feel different things when you're preparing to go see each of these different movies. And I feel like they did a really good job of bringing that together, given how many competing priorities they had.
Sure.
Also, just like the fact that in this movie you have so much like meaningful character development. I mean, like you see Peter Parker like going on this adventure. You see him like bonding even more with Tony. You see Tony making these really tough decisions. And you have like, I think also like at this point, they had been building the MCU up so much. Like we just had such a huge volume of characters. What is our movie list at this point? We had 17 movies prior to this.
18 prior.
18 movies, which are each introducing new characters, new motivations, new priorities. And this movie really took all of those and had to make us believe that they could all work together to fight this big bad that you also really believe in. Thanos is a worthy villain. He is an Infinity War and Endgame level worthy villain. The way that they built him up too, and you see him throughout the movies prior to this, whether it's in post-credit scenes or whatever, that was really well done. Thanos's like build up and believing in him as a villain, but also like I don't know, like the fact that you see Wanda and Vision like being a couple. And you see that for the first time at the beginning of this movie. And at the end of this movie, you are heartbroken for what happens to them.
Yeah.
And like that's good fucking plotting. Like what the hell? Like before this, they had a the beginnings of, I don't even know, a relationship because she was so young, but like and so was he. I mean, He's basically an
Theoretically,
infant.
yeah, he's only a couple years old. You
Yeah.
know? Jesus Christ.
But like, and also they're like in multiple different places at this point. By the time that you are following Infinity War and get to the end, they're still in multiple different places. So there was a lot to balance there. But I think something that this movie did incredibly well is that, like I said, you had these 18 different movies that we were building up all of these different characters, meeting all of these different people. And you have this transition point where we know as the viewer, because we know all of the actors' contracts and some of the things were announced, like, oh, this is going to be so and so's last movie. Like, we aren't going to see Black Widow again after Endgame. We aren't going to see these people again after this point. And so taking that like anxiety that we felt as the viewer and turning it into, they found a way to narrow our focus. So we were all the way out here, right, with all of these different characters and all of these different places and ideas and concepts, and they narrowed that in this movie so that by the time that we get to the end of Infinity War, we are back to like our OG Avengers and some supporting folks. And I feel like that was really well done. I think sometimes in Marvel there are plot lines that feel really forced. Don't even get me started on Wanda Maximoff. I think that what they did with her was dumb and forced. It didn't make any fucking sense. But I feel like this one was actually like, it made sense. Like, I felt like that was a really neat way to do what they needed to do to bring us back in and get focused, because it was getting a bit out of hand. And I'll be really interested to see how they do that with this whole multiverse that they've put us in, because it's getting out of hand.
We'll get into that conversation one day.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we're future proofing here. So, Jenesy, any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
All right, sweet. Devin.
Dude, Infinity War, seeing that movie in theaters the first time opening night, the way that my heart broke at the end of this movie, I don't think I've actually felt that in something that I was so attached to. I grew up a Marvel Comics fan, although I do think there is a lot going on in this movie and a lot that leads up to it. I thought it was executed very well for what they had to deal with personally. I have rewatched this movie tons of times. I have a hard time personally if I like this one or Endgame more, if I'm going to be honest with you, because this is a movie that there were real stakes in for the characters, and that there was real loss in for the first time. There wasn't really a sense of plot armor on these characters, and I feel like this is the first time that we really felt it for a superhero movie,
Mm-hmm.
And the action sequences in this movie are top tier. That's insane that they were able to pull this off for us. It is some of the biggest grandiose action sequences we've ever seen, outside of something like Lord of the Rings, Battle of Helm's Deep or something like that. Another one of my favorite franchises, right? And I know Ernell's too. But everybody acted their ass off for this movie. I felt like I didn't feel like anybody was forced. We have the hottest Captain America in this movie out of every single Marvel movie, and you'd be lying.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
fair.
mean?
That's fair.
Yeah, you got no mad Captain America in this shit, right? He doesn't have his, stars and striped shield. He's just beating ass, Eventually he gets his little Wakanda maulers. Yeah, his little get this man a shield. Also, just like, this is the first time that we saw characters interacting with each other from so many different reaches of Marvel, and it worked. It was not watching Justice League. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
It
That's
worked well here. You got Guardians of the Galaxy splitting up and going off in two different teams. You got Drax, Mantis, and Star-Lord with Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. And then you got Groot and Rocket going off with Thor, which that was actually a great experience. I love that whole sequence with Groot and
The Forge,
and
yeah.
Thor and Rocket. Yeah. And I do want to emphasize like what Jenesy said is Wanda and Vision, like watching their relationship and like the emotion between the two of them, and how important that was in the movie. This is the last one of the. Actually, no, it's not. It's not. I'm gonna take that what I was about to say back because that's going to be for another movie.
For an air.
Yeah, but this is when you see how strong Wanda actually can be. This is, they didn't really hold back with her that much in this movie compared to the other movies because Wanda is like one of the most powerful characters in all of Marvel, like bar none. And you actually see that in this movie. I feel like she scares the shit out of Thanos. She does.
Mhm.
But I like this movie a lot, man. It's gonna be hard for me to rank this low than a lot of the other movies. I'm just saying that right now, guys.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I'm watching scenes from it right now
Mhm.
as we talk about it because yeah, this movie is long. It is a roller coaster ride. It is a nonstop action movie. It really is. There isn't a lot of room for just dramatization. Can't say words.
Dramatization, yeah.
Yeah. But I enjoyed this movie. I like this a lot. There's even the eternal struggle with Bruce Banner and Hulk in this movie, which kind of sucks, right? But it makes sense for the story too. Hulk's feelings are hurted.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's all I got to say
That's where
about
you're
this
at.
one.
Okay. Man, this movie brings a lot of emotions to me because I too saw this in theaters on opening night, and goddamn was that an experience. That was just unreal, dude. Waiting in line, seeing everyone dressed up, everyone was happy. Like it was like Pokemon, the first Pokemon Go experience. You know what I mean? It was just insane.
Same time frame too, actually.
Yeah, and it felt like everyone was there with just a smile on their face and just hype. Just pure unbridled happiness was the experience of this movie. Until it wasn't, right?
Dude, the most somber, like quiet ending,
dude, it was
of a crowd at a Marvel movie ever.
Yeah, it legit was a roller coaster of emotions. But I think where this movie gets me so much and where I connect with it so much is I feel that this movie took on a huge undertaking. Huge. Like emphasis on what Jenesy was saying earlier in terms of what this movie meant for us, the audience, and for like the social zeitgeistness of Marvel, generally speaking. And it delivered everything. It delivered everything. I think that this movie was a perfect setup to everything that they were wanting to do. It was a perfect culmination of every moral plot line character development thing that they were trying to like put together. Anyone else would have fucked this up. And we've seen that before with the Justice League. Anyone else would have fucked this up. And they fucking nailed it, dude. I can attest to what Garrick is saying in terms of some of the characters getting a little long in the tooth, but I feel that a lot of that was necessary for us to understand the loss they wanted us to feel at the end of the movie. Because not only did we need to feel it, we needed to believe that the characters felt it. And that the stakes in this movie alone are enough for me to feel like this movie plays at a level that most other movies don't. And they really just knew what the fuck they had to do with this movie. And they fucking delivered, dude. Like the movie does such an amazing job of servicing us as Marvel fans. And giving us things and moments and character scenes and character relationships that we gave a fuck about, and just put a neat little bow on top of all of them. And I think that they executed that to such a level of perfection that it's going to be hard for me to rank this beneath a lot of these other movies as well too. I struggle a lot between whether or not I like this movie more than Endgame as well, which we'll get into. But I also feel like I struggle with whether or not I like this movie more than Winter Soldier or even Civil War or even Black Panther, right? Because like all these movies are all playing at that level. And it's so fucking hard to think about. And so every time that I think about this movie in terms of the other films as well, my first thought also goes to that night. Seeing it in theaters and seeing it with my friends and standing up out of my seat for so many moments of this fucking movie and hollering and screaming and crying at the end of it. And just like all of the feelings you could possibly have. They gave us 18 movies of feelings in one movie for fucking 3 hours, dude. And it was so good, man. It's so good. Devin.
Mr. Stark.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh, don't.
Dude.
I can't.
Don't do it.
That's-
I'm still crying.
That's arguably worse than the dog in fucking Full Metal Alchemist. Anyways,
Or even what's the other movie? Will Smith movie.
7 pounds. Yeah, fuck, dude.
No. I Am Legend.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
The dog scene's sad. It's sad, but yeah, well, whatever. You know. All right, guys. So we need to get into this gravy here. Sure. Let's just start with the top 5. Is Infinity War better than the Avengers?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is Infinity War better than Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
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 Okay. DJ, where are you on that?
Shit, man. Where's this at again? Where's this at?
Is Infinity War better than Thor Ragnarok?
What happens to me if I say no?
You are outvoted. I just want to hear your chime.
Yeah.
on that,
I don't think so. But I mean, like, I wouldn't mind it going up. Yeah.
Okay. Is Infinity War better than Civil War?
Yes.
Yes.
Garrick?
I don't think so. I'm gonna hit the hell no button. Hell no.
I don't think so.
Oh man.
I don't think it's better than Civil War.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
hit
then
the hell no.
I have to be the tiebreaker on that then.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say Infinity War is better than Civil War.
Yeah, no. That's
Okay.
real. That's real. That's really
Yeah,
invalid.
I think I'm gonna say yeah. Is Infinity War
No.
better than Black Panther?
No.
Yes.
DJ's obviously a no, right? Like
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I thought.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Devin, you and I have been outvoted, so that
Yeah.
puts.
Would you have said yes on that one?
I would have said yes too. I like Infinity War better than Black
Dude,
Panther, to be honest with you.
I like that the experience of Infinity War in the movie theater was just
That was fun.
insane.
Just
Not
out
just
of
for
this
me,
world,
but
dude.
just the whole environment. Don't get me wrong, Black Panther was great, but like the way that this movie just hit in the theaters was
No, I get
a
it, brother.
phenomenon.
I get it, brother. Okay, so that puts our top 5: Thor Ragnarok at number 5, number 4, Captain America: Civil War, number 3, Avengers: Infinity War, number 2, Black Panther, and number 1, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, these next two movies are ones that I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot of feelings on. So what I want to do is have us each just take a couple of quick minutes, give us a brief synopsis of what your thoughts are on these next two movies. And then we'll get to ranking them, because we are getting a little bit long in the tooth on this episode. And I want to try to have time for us to talk about all these, but I do know that these next two movies are a little bit less important in scale comparatively to the other movies we have in phase 3, right? For this one, I want to start with Jenesy. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'm a great person to start with, because I don't have big opinions on Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Sure.
It's a pass for me. If I didn't have to watch it for this, I wouldn't. But when I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is that Paul Rudd, that's the actor's name, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's a fun dude. He's a fun fucking dude. He's funny.
Yeah.
I do like the interaction between Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think that they have great on-screen chemistry, mostly because she's kind of mean to him, which I'm into. I love it when
Me too.
like
I'm into that
like
too.
when women flirt mean to men. I think it's super hot. So like I like that, but like that's literally
Oh,
like
I
I
think
can't
so, too.
remember.
I love you so much,
Sorry.
Jenesy. I just love you so much.
I'm sorry. I know that's getting into the BDSM shit is
Maryland's
controversial.
Maryland's the same way. I get it.
Tap on him. But anyway, so that's like literally all I can remember about this movie, and I watched it like a month ago. So like I can't remember who the villain of this movie is. I forget about Ant-Man as soon as he leaves my screen, basically. He's a cutie pie. He's adorable, and that's all I have to say about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, I'll give you a hint. The bad guy in Ant-Man and the Wasp is pretty much the same bad guy in Ant-Man. So you're not missing a whole lot.
Cool.
Secondly, let's go to Garrick. What are your thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I thought it was like a fairly. I feel like honestly, fucking kind of ripped this movie. If I'm just gonna be honest, woe is the film that was released after Infinity War. Like we fucking right, like we fucking knew it wasn't gonna hit the same. We all knew it wasn't gonna be that level, and it wasn't. I'm really glad that for the sake of its own movie, it didn't try to like one up. Like it was just like we're gonna do our own fucking thing. We know we're not gonna compete with that shit. And it's like it subsequently made for like a decent like filler like pellet cleanser movie for like where we're at, and we were in the MCU in phase 3 when this kind of released. But like this was also in the era where we were getting like 2 to 3 movies a fucking year. It was a lot of MCU at the time, and I actually believe that Ant-Man and the Wasp was the last one for the year when it came out. And it's like it's very much this is a superhero film, and it didn't try to do anything that it hadn't already done in Ant-Man. Like they kind of did the same sort of jokes. They worked, but they were the same sort of jokes. Like Ghost being the villain, but like also really not a villain, just misinterpreted somebody that had their shit fucked up because of a rich person's dumb ego, such as the way of superheroes. That like it ended up for like a film that it it was meant to be forgotten. I'm sorry. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp is just, it kind of ended up being a very uninspired Marvel film. And I don't think it has anything to do with the film itself. Think it has to do everything to do with where it was required to be in phase 3 of the MCU. Like, the necessary, like, plot notes that it was required to put down to be able to make sense going into Endgame. And therefore, it was just a vehicle moving towards the future. And everybody else driving said vehicle was just wearing a cool costume and got small every once in a while. And that was my thought on Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Sure. Devin, let's go to you. What are your thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp?
mean, obviously, this was just a catalyst setting up for a story arc in Endgame. That's what this was. That was the importance of this movie, is it was setting up the vehicle for the plot in Endgame, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. This movie's fine. It's funny. It's got its moments. It's not by far my favorite MCU movie, but Paul Rudd does a good job. The cast does a really good job. Michael Douglas is always really good. Honestly, like he plays his part very well.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this movie was fine, and I like this was of the time where the post-credit scenes really mattered too, and the post-credit scene mattered in this one. Ant-Man gets trapped in the quantum realm when they were testing the quantum realm and quantum verse travel and stuff like that, because Hope Van Dyne and oh my gosh, Hank Pym. They get dusted.
We've all seen the movie. We know.
Yeah, they get dusted. So, this is it's not necessarily a mid. It's definitely better than a lot of other MCU movies. I do think the first Ant-Man movie is stronger, personally, but it's a fun movie.
Okay, sweet, man. DJ.
I think I agree. I think this is just a really fun movie. Just a little palate cleanser, a little appetizer for what's to come. In terms of the big knockout towards the end of this phase. I think it's just really fun. This movie is just really fun. I genuinely have no qualms about it. But like, if we were to did a review on it, it's like a solid 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? Solid 8 out of 10.
Sure. Okay. All right, man. How do I wrap this into a nice tight box here? Because we do like a nice tight box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do.
I fucking knew you were going to make that joke.
Nomad Steve Rogers has a nice tight box.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah, he does.
Sure does, dude. This movie is the entertainment equivalent of eating Wendy's after eating Portland City Grill. This movie is
Portland City Grill isn't that good, dude.
But comparatively speaking, though, right? Comparatively speaking,
I think I like Wendy's more than Portland City Grill. I eat
fuck
Portland
up.
City Grill, and I'm just like, I can
yourself
that
with
Shut
an
the
iron
fuck
spike.
Well, here's the thing, though, is I don't want to say McDonald's, right? Because it's like it's not that
McDonald's
bad.
is ass.
It's not that bad.
Or like,
But like, it's also not good in the face of the shadow it is facing.
like
because,
you just had a really good steak.
Right, exactly. Because
this
this movie was and Jenesy, you're not gonna understand this, but this movie was what we all felt playing a video game after God of War 2018. It just didn't do it.
Honestly, fucking yeah, man. Where you're just like, oh, I feel nothing inside. This is never going to be the same after beating this fucking game.
This game is dog shit, dude. I want to go back to Kratos, right?
God damn.
Like
2018 fucking changed the chemistry in my brain.
It did. It full on, dog. Full on.
Did Endgame come out in 2018?
Infinity War.
2019.
Infinity War did.
was
Yes.
2018?
Yes, Infinity War
Infinity
did.
War was- yeah.
And so almost literally did this movie feel like after playing God of War. It again, it's not to say that it's bad. I think that they kind of just shot themselves in the foot a little bit, pumping out this bad boy after such an experience that there was just no way. There was just no way this movie was going to hit the same way, right? Now, we're talking about the merits of the movie alone. Devin, go quick.
I think the whole reason why this movie came out after is because of the post-credit scene. If the post-credit scene showed them getting dusted, it would have shown that Thanos won in Infinity
No,
War.
for
And I think
sure.
that's why they had to release it this way.
For sure.
I will say that.
I would argue that making an entire movie for a post-credit scene means the movie's dog shit. I will not say this movie's dog shit, but their intention was dog shit to do it that way, because this movie is actually fun. This is a fun movie. But I think that's it. That's all I really have for this movie, is that it's just fun. A lot of the characters in the movie don't need to be in it. Including the villain. The villain of this movie didn't need to be in this fucking movie. And I mean, like, Paul Rudd's always fun to see on screen when he's Ant-Man. You know, like, he's great. Like, I love Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. I'm so glad that they casted him for this. This movie just did not need to be done. They could have given us that story in so many other different kind of ways that it just kind of felt like this movie was very littling. No pun intended. Yes. So let's talk about it. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Would we feel this fits in the 10 to 15 range?
What movies are in that range again?
Number 10 is Ant-Man. Number
It's better than Ant-Man.
15 is Thor Dark
it's not.
World.
Okay, I'm gonna say it right now. It's not better than the first Ant-Man, but it is better than Dark World.
Okay. So I think
agree with that.
that's probably a good place to
concede.
be.
I'll concede.
So
I'll concede
so is this movie better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
No.
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 And is this movie better than Thor Dark World?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then this will be taking the number 15 spot from Thor Dark World. Let me get that here in the little docky doc. Okay, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay. Next, another one we probably don't have a whole lot to have to say about, and that is Captain Marvel. Garrick, I would like to go to you first, sir. What are your thoughts on Captain Marvel? And again, keep it nice and tight.
A movie that I desperately want to thoroughly enjoy, but find myself unable to, like 80% of the time.
Sure.
There's just something about Brie Larson's performance. There's just something about her performance that felt very stiff to me. Like, I had a very hard time connecting with her character as Carol Danvers, and it made it for a very rough watch for me. I like the fact that, like, honestly, I think I enjoyed it more for, like, getting to see Nick Fury in the 90s and what that does for his character development and its implications, more than what I think it does to establish Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel as a character, because they made her. I felt like they made her a very one-dimensional character in a very unsatisfying way. Because I fucking love the concept of female and women empowerment in films, and this didn't feel like it did it right.
Sure.
If that makes sense. I really have a hard time with this film, because it didn't, I don't know. It's like, it just didn't feel like, it didn't feel sincere. That's what it is for me. The film doesn't feel sincere. It doesn't feel like it really gives a shit about what it's trying to do or say or trying to make out the character of Captain Marvel and Carol Danvers to be. I don't believe it. That's my issue with it, is I don't believe the character they're trying to establish in Captain Marvel, and that character does not really come around for me at all until Endgame. And even then I'm still not overly convinced.
Sure. DJ.
Mm-hmm. I think I feel the same way. I feel like at the time when this movie got released, I think it was on the hate train for this movie. It was before a lot of character development, before a lot of character development. But in the last few years, I came around to actually watching this movie, and I actually found myself enjoying it. And it was fun. I do a bit, if I knew, going in that, this Captain Marvel will be a little bit different. I feel like, I just thought, that's how just Brie Larson acts. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I thought it was. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I can deal with that. Like, like it's whatever. It doesn't bother me none. But yeah, I think Garrick's right. It doesn't feel sincere. It doesn't feel like the rest of the movies that are like in this entire lineup in terms of the MCU. It doesn't have that air of like, oh yeah, we're doing this like, for y'all the fans and this and that. It just, I don't know, there's something off about it, and I really can't put a finger on it. And it's not a bad movie at all. I don't think it's actually a pretty decent, pretty good movie. It's just something that's holding it back, and I can't discern what it is at this moment, and I still can't.
Sure, fair enough, man. Devin, let's go to you. What are your thoughts on Captain Marvel?
I've always enjoyed this movie more than people have. Personally, I've always liked this movie. I think the character is played how the character is supposed to be played. When it comes to Captain Marvel, especially for an introduction to her, she is supposed to be kind of a stoic, not full of emotion unless it's rage, right? Like Captain Marvel as a character is supposed to be a rage-filled character that feels guilty, and I think that shows in this movie. I love the origin of Nick Fury in this movie a lot. I thought that was really fun.
It's not cool.
I think it's literally just a movie about this character just figuring out who they are, where they came from, and that's what it is. I don't think it's as bad as people have always said it is, and I think people shitting on Brie Larson are fucking crazy, in my opinion, because she acted the part as she was directed to do so, and as the character should be for that stage of the character, in my opinion. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that movie.
Fair enough. Jenesy.
No, fair.
I actually agree with Devin, which I feel like happens very rarely, but I really do. I never understood.
We did it.
You got her, Devin. You fucking got her, dude.
Right into his trap.
I remember when this movie came out and like it was getting so much hate, and I was just like, people are dumb. Like I know, like I didn't like especially because I felt like I remember actually going into this movie. I was going into it with my roommates at the time. Before we even watched the fucking movie, one of my male roommates was ragging on it. Like he was criticizing it before we even watched it. Like I was like, he's like, oh well, it's just gonna be feminist propaganda, and he was a gay dude, mind you. It's not like I was like, this is so not your fight, dude. Like
shut up, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
And I love him. He's a sweet pea, but like it's this one moment I remember, and I was like, you need to shut the fuck up because we're about to have fights. And like that just felt like to me like everything that I was seeing online. Like, so many people who were shitting on this movie didn't even fucking watch it. Like, they didn't even fucking watch the movie. I never understood the level of hate that it got. So that always pissed me off. I really liked this movie. I liked it when it came out. I like it now. I really enjoyed Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. I really do like actually what you said, Garrick, about like feeling like she was one dimensional. And I also kind of read that, but I read it in a different way where I felt that it was intentional because you have this woman who doesn't remember her life and has been told what her life was and is trying to like fit into what she thinks her life is, while also feeling like it's totally wrong because she's literally a different species than what she's told she is. And so that's what when I watch it, like I saw that and I saw that struggle and I did read that like something felt a little off in her and I felt that that was something being off in the character, which I really enjoyed. I think that's really compelling, like when characters feel out of place in their world and they really have to fight to find their place. Carol Danvers, I also think is really interesting because she is another power player. She is another like Wanda Maximoff. There's very little bounds to what she can do. And this movie set her up for that, where she had to like unleash that power. She had to like understand it and come to terms with it and stop fighting it. And I feel that scene when that happens was incredible. I love that scene. I love that scene where she like I love just a good smackdown, and that was a smackdown. It's also hard to like do a good like when you have a character who is so much more powerful than their adversaries and everyone around them. Like it can be difficult to make those scenes engaging and fun and not boring and not feel like either you don't believe how powerful they are or so there's some sort of disbelief. And every time I watch that fight scene where she's like fighting her way through the spaceship, and by the time she gets to him at the end and he like tries to do the very stereotypical like, oh, fight me without your powers, make it an even fight, and she's like, fuck no.
Yeah,
She's like, boom, one-handed. She just like leaned back one-handed, like she was like on your ass. And I love that. I thought that was so powerful. It was so incredible and such a great introduction to a character. And that's the beginning of her powers. That's when she is just starting to understand. And that's how powerful she is. And you really understand that. And I appreciate that about this movie.
Sweet. I'm closer to Garrick on this. To be real, Michelle. It's not to say that I think that this movie is bad. It's not.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's sure. Definitely not the worst Marvel film. It just, I don't know. It's just not my favorite.
It's not. I think that this movie suffered mostly from its writing. And them not really knowing like what to do with this character that wouldn't just make her feel like Superman, right? And so they kind of had to backpedal a lot of shit. I think I would have actually liked it better if they just doubled down on making her Superman. Because like when we say like she acted the role well in terms of being this Carol Danvers whose identity has been completely flipped upside down, and she's supposed to be stoic and she's angry and all these other things. We saw all of that played better by Wanda Maximoff. And I feel that like the benchmark in which could have been hit with Captain Marvel was dissipated by a lot of just very half-baked decisions that they made in the movie to just not go all the way there. I don't know why that is. And I don't know like where their stopping point was, because they really went there with Nick Fury as a character in this movie, because everything that had to do with Nick in this movie is fucking phenomenal. I think that her relationship with the mom and daughter that she's now entangled with was
In trouble.
was incredible, but I just think that like genuinely they just didn't do enough with this character that is supposed to be one of the most powerful beings in Marvel, and just sort of, I don't know, gave us a very just like fine story with it. And I wanted more than fine. Especially coming off of Infinity War, and especially coming off of Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? I think that this movie could have been more, and it just wasn't for me. And so it just didn't quite hit some spots I was hoping that it would. Granted, I do agree. I also don't think that this movie deserved to get shat on the way that it did. One, because obviously we don't agree with those fucking losers that were shitting on it because they just didn't want Carol Danvers to be Carol Danvers, let alone have Brie Larson playing her. I also don't think that this movie deserved to get shat on because it wasn't a bad movie. There was just some stuff, you know what I mean? It just kind of felt not completely thoroughly thought through for me. And so I've only seen this movie a couple of times and would happily never watch it again, to be completely honest with you. The first times I've watched it, that's cool enough for me. That's great. The cats are fun though. The cat's fun. That's a good part.
Fun.
That's a good part. So let's kind of go through. Let's start. Okay, is Captain Marvel better than Ant-Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
think
tough
for
because
me
like
it
they're
is.
two different tones of movies, like overall.
Just pure merit of the movies, guys. Just pure merit of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
I'd say yeah. For me it'd be yeah.
Garrick?
No.
No? Okay. Devin, Jenesy, and DJ, you all said yes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
okay. So me and Garrick are outvoted there. Is
Yeah, get fucked.
Captain Marvel better than Spider-Man Homecoming?
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Oh
No.
hell no. Hell
Okay,
no. Can I get the
I'm
hell
gl-
no
I'm
button?
glad. I'm glad. I'm kind of getting
good.
like a halfway feel here for like where this will kind of sit for us. So that makes me feel a little bit better here, because I was gonna be like, is it better than Doctor Strange? Like I was like, I don't know if that's a good place to start or
No,
not.
Doctor Strange is great. I actually rewatched that the other day. It's a
Here's the
very
thing though:
good
is Doctor
movie.
Strange is ranked lower than Iron Man, which is ranked lower than Age of Ultron, which is ranked lower than Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So there
I
are
do
some.
I
think
know.
there are
I didn't rank Doctor
Of
Strange
course,
there.
of course.
I
And
wanted it to be higher.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that like you were kind of the one offer that didn't want it even in that spot. And I think that when we're all finished up with all the movie and we do finally get caught up, I think there will be some space for us to sort of look at the list as a whole and sort of reevaluate some of it. Because there are some things I can tell we each individually have some weird grievances about in terms of the ranking being concerned. So that's okay. We can talk that. Okay. We gotta get through this, guys. We gotta get through this. Okay,
Yep.
This is part 2.
We have
do not
2
want to do
movies.
a part 3. Let's fucking do it. Avengers Endgame. And I've had each one of us start out, so now I'm going to start this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck me, man. What a movie. Dude, holy shit. Let me start this off by saying, I still to this day go and rewatch this movie and this movie alone. Sometimes just so I can feel something.
Yes.
This movie is like a cigarette movie for me, where if I'm having a bad day, if I've had a long week, if I've been having a rough time, if I'm bored, if I'm not bored, I can watch this movie and feel some inkling of the fire that was my first time watching this fucking movie. Because this movie is so fucking outstanding. Front to back to front. Every character motivation feels right. Every character relationship is tied off beautifully. This movie is a roller coaster ride that is at its peak for a majority of the ride until it drops to the very, very fucking end and the very, very beginning, and it's going up. This whole fucking movie is just one consecutive hit after hit after hit of the most hype shit on the fucking planet, dude. The fact we start this movie with that altercation with Thanos and watching him get his fucking head cut off is just the hardest decision that they've ever fucking made in Marvel. Even I'd argue to this day. Devin, what?
Movie actually starts with Hawkeye watching his family get
Not my
decimated
point.
from-
Not my point. But in terms of like
Who
the
cares?
pacing there, right? No, I mean because he's not wrong. It's not to say that he's wrong there, but like that goes to even further prove my point, right? We start out with this emotional heart drop that immediately moves into this like secondary emotional heart drop that moves to this like fucking crazy fucking moment, this revelation, and then moves to this like now upbeat thing of like, we could probably fucking do this. We have a new plan now. And the entire movie paces itself in such a way that feels like this is a culmination of all the movies prior. And they move on that. They capitalize on that. Everything in this movie was just one fucking hype moment after another. Guys, I cannot express my love for this fucking movie enough. There are so many moments in this movie that still to this day make me want to get up out of my fucking seat and cheer. The Thor coming down for the battle scene. Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude. Like the Thor Cap Iron Man fight with Thanos. Oh my fucking god, dude. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. This was like reliving a childhood fucking fever dream, dude. Like, I was playing with action figures again, watching this fucking movie. I was smashing them the fuck together and being like, oh yeah, Captain America can totally pick up the fucking hammer. And he fucking does. Oh yeah, he has electricity. He can shoot it out of his shield. It'll bounce off and hit Thanos. And Thanos isn't gonna die from that. Oh, he's still super strong. I felt like a fucking child. And I feel like a child every time I rewatch this fucking movie. I don't think there's a bad thing about this fucking movie, to be completely honest with you. This movie is the one that plays at a fucking peak above all the other fucking Avengers movies to me, because we still go to the fucking portal scene. And even like just closing my eyes, I remember watching it with tears streaming down my fucking face and my jaw agape with the biggest open mouth smile on my fucking face. Mm-hmm. I have a child, and I don't think I've ever been happier than this fucking moment in this movie. Okay. Pure, unbridled happiness was the final moments of this movie to tie it all up, all of the emotional bullshit, everything they had going on. That's how they fucking did it. And I would fucking relive it again and again and again and again until the day I fucking die. Endgame's fucking money, dude. That's what I have to say. Devin, your hand was up.
Dude, and remember, it was Black Panther that walks through the portal first.
God,
too, and
fucking
just looks at him.
Damn, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
And it wasn't just one portal, it was thousands of portals that opened.
And then on top of that too, not just T'Challa walking through the portal, his whole army walking behind him. Yeah. Right? Like just seeing Falcon flying up out of the portal above him, you know, just the two you're left even alone with Captain America standing in front of an army of enemies alone saying fuck it. Right? Straps that shield right the fuck in and said, I can do this all goddamn day, right? Oh, Oh, Endgame is so good,
Yeah.
dude. Woo,
Dude, that whole scene, I think I cried happy tears
Uh-huh.
when that happened.
Uh-huh.
Especially like Spider-Man coming in too. I was
Mhm.
just like, oh, you know.
Goddamn, son. I'll tell you what. Garrick, let's go to you, sir. Your thoughts on Endgame.
It's perfect. Endgame is like honestly like this is kind of like a sacred film to me. I have seen Endgame exactly one time.
And you don't plan on doing it again.
What I don't necessarily plan on watching it again. I have never rewatched Endgame. I saw it once in theaters, and like I was just like, I don't actually know if going back and seeing a second time or even a third time would do it for me because it was such an experience. Like that I've never been able to replicate. I think the closest theater, like personal feeling I've ever felt like to that in like recent memory has been the Dune movies, and before that, obviously Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
but like that didn't have the same theater energy feel that this did. I just felt very strongly personally about those films. This came coupled with the energy of the theater that somehow was even more electrifying than it even was for Endgame.
Infinity
or
War,
for
you mean.
Infinity
Yeah.
War,
Yeah,
excuse me. And like because we knew this was going to be the end all be all, and like and that there was going to be permanent ramifications for the MCU going forward, even more so than what Infinity War had to offer. And every single aspect of this film just makes you care. It is, I don't know. It's a perfect fucking movie. I adore absolutely everything about Endgame. The Cap picking up Mjolnir is a rent fucking free moment in my head. Like I've dreamed of it, thought about it, imagined what it would look like ever since he made the hammer move in the first movie. And I've just I have let that scenario play out in my head again and again and again and again, and finally getting to see it on screen, finally getting to hear Avengers Assemble for the first and only time, right? Was just God damn, this movie was fucking perfect. And like they brought around all of the characters, and everybody was utilized perfectly. Everybody had their shining moment. They utilized everybody to to the maximum of their effect. And we got some very interesting, albeit brief, character interactions that we'll likely never experience again in the MCU, right? Like I'm not ever expecting Captain Marvel and Spider-Man to have a conversation in the MCU again. I'm just not
ever again, right? It probably isn't.
It's probably not going to happen. But like but to see like a cosmic being put respect on Spider-Man, some fucking teenager from Brooklyn, right? And like just be like, what the fuck is this kid, right? Like it made for some awesome moments, and like I think I appreciate that was what made me appreciate Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is like. And maybe and honestly, I think a lot of it comes down to what like I think Captain Marvel the film was not as well written. I agree with Ernell there, but like here, I felt like they took advantage of the fact that now she has been acting as Captain Marvel for a very long time and has established herself, and it made for a much more interesting version of who she was as a character. And I wish we could have seen more of whatever the fuck was going on between Thor. I don't know. I needed that was dissatisfying. That was like the one thing I needed more from whatever the fuck that was going to be. Even if it was a fling, even if it was just a fling, I needed that. I needed that. But aside from that, like I really like this. It's like it was like a sacred pedestal film experience that like I don't think I'll ever replicate again.
Devin,
I saw this movie 3 times in theaters. I
Goddamn,
went
baby.
with a bunch of
Goddamn.
my friends opening night. Our good friend Pubmaster Drax, Sam, came to town like the week of. He didn't see it yet, so I took him to go see it. And I went and saw it with my dad and my brother as well. This movie's amazing. I've watched this movie probably more than any rewatched Marvel movie ever. I was gonna say more than any movie. That's a lie. Lord of the Rings. I've watched Lord of the Rings trilogy more than anything. If I'm gonna be honest, that and Star Wars. But yeah, this hands down is my favorite Marvel movie. Bar none. It's you know, that is America's ass.
That is America's ass, baby. It really is.
America's
Yeah.
ass.
And we all, like, when we saw this in theaters, this was the end of Marvel. We all thought this was going to be it. They weren't going to do this anymore, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
I
Like
didn't,
all of us.
but yeah, that was the theory. Yeah.
Yeah. But they set up so many things with this. They set up Loki as a TV show in this movie, which we never thought that they were going to do that, you know. But they set that up in this movie. This just had all the cool wow factor moments of every movie of any Marvel, and the whole, like, I don't even know you. You took
I don't even
everything
know
from
who you
me.
are.
I don't even know who you are.
The
Yeah.
moment that Captain Marvel comes in too is one of the best moments ever, because, like, first Thanos is dealing with Scarlet Witch, and she's about to fucking kill him. She's about to kill him, and he has to have all of his fleet rain fire on her to stop her from killing him. And then while they're doing that, then they all stop shooting. Everything gets quiet. They all point at the air and start shooting because Captain Marvel's coming in as the powerhouse and just takes out his dreadnought just by just flying through it. She doesn't have to do shit. She just flies right through that thing and takes down his dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you get the callback to Homecoming where Spider-Man's like, okay, activate kill mode, and it starts killing all of the peons. You know, there's so many cuts to everything that's led up to this. Especially like with Garrick mentioning the callback to Age of Ultron when they're all partying and Cap goes to lift the hammer but purposely doesn't do it, you know.
Dude, my working theory is he could have lifted it that motherfucking day and chose not to.
100%.
That is my working theory.
Yeah, because Thor had a fragile ego, and he knew that, so he didn't want to, you know, blow his ego.
That's a real leader right there. That's a real leader.
Exactly. He was taking care of his own. And the way that they handled Thor in this movie, hilarious, fucking hilarious. But yeah, number one.
All right, we're gonna tie that off. DJ, let's go to you, dog. What are your thoughts on Endgame?
Endgame, man, it's Endgame. It's the Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of the culmination
The
of
end of the
everything
game,
that,
right?
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. Every culmination of everything that we enjoy and we love about the MCU. All of our characters showing up, the big reveal. I mean, it was. Dude, I think it was the first time everyone was okay with motherfuckers filming in the fucking movie theater. Like, I think,
And they were.
like, it was just like, yeah. And I'm pretty sure the fucking on your left clip, like, you know, in that moment, I'm pretty sure that's still, like, still using memes. They're still using the fucking bootleg versus someone fucking filming with their phone.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's still low res. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, they haven't, you know, you can rip the 4K version out now. You know what I mean? You can
that
do
exists. You can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they still use the, you know, that it's so pivotal. It's so pivotal. But man, it was just a moment in time. Everyone just had to be there. You're like, oh fuck. Like, you know, you just shed tears. You're like, fuck, dude. Fuck. I think you would leave that movie just fucking an emotional wreck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like you need therapy for that movie. You know, like
No, that's some real shit, dude. I didn't really know what to do with myself for days after watching it.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, that's it. That's it. You literally you go through all the stages of grief because you're like, what could come after this? Like, if the MCU ended and died right there, I think everyone would be happy. I think everyone would be fine with that. There's no continuation, no nothing. Like, it'd be like if MCU ended right there, which some people said it has. It just I would be satisfied. I'd be like, damn, man, like this shit's over. Shit, what do we do now? I guess we gotta go back to work. Fun's over. Normal life incoming. We don't have superheroes in real life. We just realized.
Final thoughts, CJ?
Yeah. Movie good.
All right. Jenesy, tie it off for us. Where are you at with Endgame?
I want to start this off by saying I don't dislike this movie. It's a great movie. I like this movie. However, I did have some problems with it. I still have some problems. Here we go. Yeah. And maybe they're me being nitpicky. Maybe they're me thinking about it too much. But like also as a person who does like plot books and does like write things, I have some issues. I hated what they did with Gamora. I hated it. I hated that they killed her and brought her back. The time travel thing felt and feels really uncomfortable to me, especially because their entire time travel isn't real. Okay, I'll say it. I know. It's not real.
Are you sure?
However, we have time travel theories that we as consumers of media believe because of things that we've seen in movies and television and books before, and things that we just conceptually believe about the world and science and how things work. And if time travel was going to work, it would work this way. And this movie did something that I absolutely hate because they wanted you to change everything that you believe about time travel. And they did that by telling you one thing in 15 seconds. And we're like, oh, just believe me. And I'm like, I don't fucking believe you, mad scientist. What the fuck? I hate that. I think that's dumb. I think it's a terrible writing. It's terrible plot point. I hate that. Yes or no?
Hi, yeah, Ernell from goodkraken.com. Funny enough, I'm going to be the only one to do it tonight. I'm going to refute you with one little thing. One little thing, okay? And I will say, they acknowledge the fact that they do that the second they start joking about Back to the Future.
I know they tried to. I don't think they did it successfully. I think that they were trying.
Fair enough.
I think that they were like, that's my point, is that they were trying to be like, oh, well, that's not how they and anyway, I'll leave it there because I just think I think it was dumb. I think they were trying to be like, oh, I know that when you're writing something, you have to play to the consumer's beliefs. Otherwise you have an unbelievable story. And this plot point to me was unbelievable because they tried to tell you in 10 seconds, oh, everything you know about time travel isn't real. And I'm like, you're literally the only person who's ever told me that. Go the fuck away and bring me back to the future. So I didn't like that. And then I didn't like that because then they tell you to not believe everything that you know about time travel. And then they're bringing people back from the dead. They're bringing a different Thanos in from the past. But how can Thanos be here? Because if he isn't in the past where he belongs, and if you kill him here, then he was never there to what? Doesn't logic. I never bought it. I don't buy it. I'm so confused. I'm still confused.
Okay.
So there was that. And then there was also I do feel really passionately about the deaths of how they did the Majors Avengers and how they retired those characters, and I thought they were done really well. I found Black Widow's death and Hawkeye's turn to the bad side when he lost his family was one of the most compelling pieces I think of like Marvel character writing. Like that shit. Oh, like talk about believable. Like, and I felt that in my bones. And I still feel that like when we watch Hawkeye, like when we you feel it. And that actor did such a wonderful job of making you feel it too. I mean, like I just think about the scene where Black Widow goes to get him and it like gives me chills just thinking about it. Like
Don't
I
give
think
me
that there were
hope.
so oh fuck. And man, it was so brutal. And then he has to watch his best friend die and he tries to sacrifice himself, but she's like she's not just dying for the whole like she's dying for his family, who's her family. Like that and he can't die because he's trying to bring his family back, but he doesn't want his friend to it like that scene like fucking tears at me. Like and there are so many scenes in this movie that I think just absolutely like tear at my heart. Oh my god, I thought of another thing that pisses me off about this movie. Okay, so we all love that I'm sorry. We all love that Captain wields the hammer, right? We love it. I love it. I'm a slut too.
Okay.
We're all here.
Sure. All right.
However,
America's ass.
I never, and maybe that's America's ass. But maybe you guys can explain this to me. I never understood how Captain America was able to wield lightning because I thought that the lightning power came from Thor, not the hammer. So it made sense to me that the hammer, like he'd be able to wield the hammer, but not the lightning. Yeah, please explain it to me.
Whoever shall be worthy will wield the power of Thor. No, that is exact. It's a direct quote, and it's
That's
literal.
it?
It is.
Yeah,
It is lit.
it's
It is.
literal.
It's that simple. It's
Yeah.
that literal.
Yeah.
If you are able to wield Mjolnir, you are able to subsequently wield the powers of Thor. This is, and it gets all. And I'm going to answer the question with another little tidbit of information because it only
Yeah,
gets
please.
weird in the MCU. Because the original comic book Thor was not an individual from Asgard. It was some random motherfucking doctor who found this shit in a crater, was worthy of the hammer, and subsequently became Thor. The Thor as an
Okay.
Asgardian trope came much later in the character's history.
Thank
But
you,
if you
Garrick.
don't,
Thank
if
you.
you don't know that particular little bit, it can make it be like, why is it not literal? But it's literal because of the history of Mjolnir in the original comics.
Yep.
Thank
That's
you.
also
I've been
why
confused for
Jane
literally
Foster-
half a decade.
Wait, what
That's
was
why
that?
Jane Foster gets all the same powers too. Is because she's worthy of wielding the hammer, so that's why she gets all the same powers as Thor.
Yep, it was just a literal interpretation. Like Odin literally put like a literal like word spell. He was just
Yeah.
like, if you're worthy, you get the thing. Here you go.
You get to be Thor. Okay.
Yep.
No, and thank you for the piece about the Asgard because that helps a lot. Because I've literally been confused for 6 years. So this is great.
Fair. Totally fair. Yeah, I get it.
So that being put to the side, yeah, I think that this is a really powerful movie in terms of like what it did for the characters, which I think is what makes it such a strong movie. Is that it was so emotionally compelling, and that can be hard to do sometimes in Marvel movies. Sometimes it can be hard to root for these folks, and especially in a movie like this where you have so many people that you're rooting for. I actually cried at Tony Stark's funeral, and I don't even like the guy.
She really does not like Tony Stark, dude.
Yeah, no, we had
Like
this
Tony
discussion.
Stark.
We're like, this guy's an asshole. I'm like, damn, if you
He's an
cried to this,
asshole.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't like him,
But
and
he
I
made
cried
the
at
great
his funeral.
sacrifice, and he ended.
I
And
don't.
it made
I don't
you
care
give a
about
shit.
that. I don't care about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care about that. I honestly thought that that was like kind of manipulative of the writers because I was like, I don't like him. Don't try to make me like him. Like, you don't have to make me like my dad, okay? Just because he gave me life doesn't mean I have to like the fucker. Anyway, my dad's fine. I like my dad. But like,
I think that's
that's
what
how
they
I feel
set it
about
up,
Tony
though.
Stark. I know. I don't like it. And then they're like, oh, he has a daughter now and he's nice to her. I'm like, he was a douchebag to literally everyone else for 30 years. Anyway. Anyway. Anyway.
Final thoughts, Chelsea.
Yeah, I do love a movie that can make me cry, and this movie made me cry a lot. The On My Left, like that's one of my favorite lines from Winter Soldier, and it's one of my favorite lines of this movie. And it's so
On your left.
fucking simple.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And yeah, I love the end of this movie. I love the beginning of this movie. I also think it was a dope move to kill him off in the beginning. I think that was a real power move. And what they did after that, I think was I didn't like the way they handled the time travel personally, and opening up the multiverse was messy. But overall, good movie. Made me cry a lot.
One could argue it still is messy, but we will get there one day. All right. So here's the deal. We are about to be at 2 hours. We need to rank Endgame, and then I vote we carry Homecoming into Phase 4. We need to fucking end this episode.
I'm so tired.
Which kind of works. It kind of works because of the stuff that happens with Homecoming. But Devin, you obviously go for number 1. Let's Jenesy, where does this movie sit with you in rankings? Just
Can you give me our top 5 again?
Top 5 is number 5 at Thor Ragnarok. Number 4 is Civil War. Number 3 is Infinity War. Number 2 is Black Panther. And number 1 is The Winter Soldier.
Okay. I know that this is controversial, and I know I will probably be outvoted, so I will concede. I would personally put it underneath Infinity War. However, I can see that probably won't happen for you guys. I don't think it should go above Black Panther, personally.
Jenesy, I love you. I love you so much. In all the years that we've known each other and have been doing this and creating content and being friends and having a relationship.
This is 5 years?
Yeah. It's been quite a long time now. I have never been so disappointed in you.
That's crazy. No, that's crazy.
I have never disagreed with you more, but you know what?
Okay.
I bid you adieu. Because yes, Jenesy is going to get voted off on this one. Garrick, DJ, hit me with it.
Island? No way.
What are you guys feeling?
Man, it sucks, but like, I put it over Black Panther. Put it over, a little bit over.
Okay. Is it over or under Winter Soldier?
I think it's over.
Okay. Garrick?
It's number 2 for me. It's not fucking better than Winter Soldier. There's nothing better in the MCU than Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is the quintessential MCU film.
Oh, okay. DJ,
it's tough. It's tough.
DJ, you said this is number 1 for you?
Actually, I don't know, man.
No, you said it already.
I mean, I know, but at the same time, I'm thinking about it more. I just because this movie's good. It's just fuck, man. It's just tough. I feel like our top 3 is very interchangeable, very, very very fluid. Whoever you ask, it's these top 3 is still gonna be top 3.
Jenesy doesn't even want it in the top 3, so that's fine.
Don't make me grab a coin.
Didn't I want it in number 3?
You said under Infinity War, right?
Oh yeah, no.
No, she said under Black. Oh yeah, you did. No, yeah, that'd be number 4.
Yeah. But I said I would be okay with it being above Infinity War and under Black Panther.
Oh, okay. Then at number 3.
She did also say that.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. DJ?
So basically I said I would be okay with 3 or 4.
You know what? If we can do 3, I wouldn't mind doing it. A little 3.
You want it under Black Panther?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Black Panther's my movie, so I'll be real. I can't be switching up now. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
Wow. Yeah.
So okay.
There we go.
So that means ratio wise across the board. I cannot fucking believe you guys. This is putting
No. So Garrick says number 2. They say 3.
Stop. Let me do my work here. Okay, let me do my job. All right. Because of ratios across the board, this puts Avengers Endgame at number 2. And I
Fuck you guys.
fucking hate that. So
Yeah,
much.
that feels right. Nah, fuck you. That
I
feels
am
right.
angry.
That
But
feels right.
that is the compromise.
That does feel
feel right.
That is the
That feels right.
compromise. That is the
No,
compromise.
no,
we are.
Winter Soldier is
we
not
are- we
emotional.
are-
It does
we
not
are-
invoke.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
same
whoa,
I'm
whoa, whoa,
sorry.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
How
whoa,
do your
whoa, whoa,
emotions work?
whoa. Did you know?
Not emotional?
Did you? Oh
My
wait, no,
left
wrong
hand-
movie.
No,
Wrong
I'm
movie.
Nick Fury. I'm dead, but I'm not.
Oh, this fucking guy. This fucking guy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I thought Jenesy was the fake fan. It looks like you are, pal.
Yeah.
No, Winter Soldier is number 2, but there's no way it's on the same level as Endgame when it comes to emotional like weight.
I don't know.
Or no, you know I'm right.
Our rankings as they are right now is number 22 is The Incredible Hulk. Number 21 is Iron Man 3. Number 20 is Thor. Number 19 is Iron Man 2. Number 18 is Thor Dark World, a bad movie. Number 17 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 16 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 15, Doctor Strange. 14, Iron Man. 13, Age of Ultron. 12, Ant-Man. 11, Captain Marvel. 10, Spider-Man Homecoming. Wait, how did that happen? Hold on. Far From Home. That's what I was saying earlier. Okay. Number 9, Captain America, The First Avenger. Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy. 7, The Avengers. 6, Thor Ragnarok. Number 5, Civil War. Number 4, Infinity War. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 2, Avengers Endgame. And number 1, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. It's not that I'm not okay with Winter Soldier being number 1. I just
Yeah, it's so good.
This has
It's
been
so good.
20,000
So good.
films under the sea. Your
Yeah.
choice for all the nerdy pop media
20,000
news, reviews, and discussions that you want each and every week, and is now no longer being live streamed. Anyways, I don't even think I need to read off the rest of this because this is going to change. It's going to change here. Thank you guys for tuning in for GK Fest 2025. 4-year anniversary, and it's been a long week. It's been a very fun week, and we're glad that we got to celebrate it all with all of you. And I'm glad I got to celebrate it with all of you guys. Jenesy, thank you for coming in for tonight's episode. Our next Marvel thing, we're reviewing Daredevil, Jenesy. Reviewing Daredevil.
Oh.
So I
haven't
don't
watched
know.
that
I don't know
yet.
what you're doing during a certain time frame that is between the dates of April 17th and April 19th. There's some days there that I think are called April 18th that I don't know what you might be up to that evening. But I would like to have you for a review on Daredevil. I'm assuming most of us want to review Daredevil that night. So
Need to
Jenesy,
fucking watch.
let us know, and we'll let the people at home
will.
know.
Yep.
And until next time, we love you and be good.
This is our last stream
Okay,
ever. We're
guys.
never coming back. Never coming back.
Shut the.
We'll see
Okay,
you for Summer
Marvel.
Games Fest.
You couldn't accept your failures. And where did that bring
or
you?
Are we? Or are
I
we?
am inevitable.
Or are we?
Yeah, Endgame